Welcome to the training. In this video, we are going to gather our content and prepare our files so we're ready to build a unique and professional website. As I mentioned in earlier trainings, I do have a folder set up for all my brand files. This folder will hold all of my vector files for my logos, along with any other files like video intros, background music for the brand, or anything like that that you will need when branding and marketing your business. In that folder, I have created a folder titled Website Files. This is the folder that will hold the core files we will use to build the website. It will include our logo, icon, headshot, and any other images or graphics we plan on using. Before we get into the different files and the bonuses we're going to use in this section, there are a few things we need to cover. First things first, I've been building websites for over 20 years, and if there was a formula to get everything together and not have to go back and make updates later, I would share it with you. But unfortunately, even with years of knowledge, some things can still require a little bit of extra attention. So as we go through this step, please remember that you don't have to have every image file ready to go. The purpose of this step is to get your logo, icon, and headshot in a folder and ready to upload, along with covering some of the basics of image optimization before we start bogging down our website with huge files. So please hang in there. I'll be as quick as I can with this, but please don't skip this step. It is important to not just the overall feel of your website, but also the functionality. We are going to be covering a lot in a short period of time, and remember that this video is here for you to come back to as a refresher when needed. Okay, now that we have all that taken care of, let's jump into it. The first thing we're going to cover is image optimization and page speed. Now, I'm sure you've been on a website that you want to load, but it seems like it takes forever. Any longer than 4 or 5 seconds and you're ready to start hitting the back button. Images and video are likely the core reason for websites to load slow. That is where image optimization comes in. But before we can cover image optimization, we need to understand how websites work. When a website is opened, all the text, images, and video, along with the back-end code that tells your computer how to load everything, has to be opened. The larger the file of the images and video, along with the way the page is put together, the longer the website will take to load. That being said, sizing the images properly and preparing them for websites is called image optimization, and it helps speed up the process of your website loading. This is why I mentioned in the introduction that you will need to be sure every image that is loaded on your website should be optimized. Image optimization is all about making sure your images look great on your website without slowing it down. It involves resizing and compressing the pictures so that they load quickly while still being clear and high quality. This helps your website run smoothly and gives visitors a better experience. You can use tools to reduce the file size of your images so they don't take forever to load, which is super important for keeping people on your website and helping it rank better in the search engines. So before we get into gathering our files, I'm going to show you some of the free resources that you can use to optimize your images. I'm also going to show you where you can get some images if you need some. So we're going to start with stock photos. Ultimately, you can use premium stock photo sites like Adobe Stock or iStock Photo, but if you would like to watch the budget, there are 4 free stock photo sites that I would recommend. Of course, you should always check on the licensing to make sure you can use images for commercial use, but the majority of the images on these sites I'm going to share with you are free for commercial use. Those websites are, in no particular order, Pexels.com, Unsplash.com, StockVault.net, and Pixabay.com, with Pexels and Pixabay offering stock video footage as well. When you are selecting stock photos for your website, there are 3 main factors outside of licensing that you need to think about: color, orientation, and size. I know it should go without saying, but you always want to make sure that the colors that are in your images do not clash or look bad when next to your brand colors. Think about where the pictures will be displayed in the design, and will it be just a picture on the site, or is it going to be used as a background? And remember that nothing is permanent, so if you don't like how something looks once you design your website, you can always go back in and change it later. Then there's the orientation of the image. Is it vertical or horizontal? Yes, the images can be cropped and edited if needed, but remember where the image is going and how it will be displayed. As far as the size of the images, there are 2 different things: the actual file size For best results, it should be no bigger than 150 kilobytes. And then the dimension, which I normally like to keep under 1920 by 1080. So let's start with an image that I downloaded from Pexels and walk through 2 free resources to optimize your image. The first website we're going to cover is imageresizer.com. It is one of my favorite tools because it not only resizes your images, but it also can do the compression, and it can do both to multiple images at once. So let's head to the website so I can show you how it works. Alright, as you can see, we are on imageresizer.com. And I have a folder with the stock photo from Pexels that I just downloaded. In order to optimize the photo, we're just going to drag it in and drop it in. From here, you can change the width. So I'm going to set this to 1920. And you can also set the target file size. I'll set this to 150. And then you can choose if you wanted to save it as a different file type. I'm going to go ahead and keep it as JPEG. And then I'm going to click on Resize Image. This is going to go through and actually compress and resize the image. You can see the difference went from 1.8 megabytes to 138 kilobytes. From here, all you have to do is click on Download Image. And if you have multiple images that you want to do this to, all you would need to do is click on Bulk Resize in the header and follow the same steps. While Image Resizer can compress and resize images, if you just need to compress the images, that's where our next resource comes in. TinyPNG is another easy to use free resource. All you have to do is drag the image into the website and it instantly will compress your images. Let's head over to the website real quick and I'll show you how it works. As you can see, I'm on tinypng.com, and we're going to go ahead and optimize the same image that we used over on Image Resizer. So I'm just going to take the image from our folder, drag it directly into the website, and you can see just with compression, it has saved 31% of space. But please keep in mind that TinyPNG does not resize the images, it only handles compression. If you're ready to download, all you have to do is click on the JPEG icon. Now that we've covered image optimization, we're going to get into the content you need before we start. First thing you should have in your brand files is your logo. I'll keep the image size for this at 1000 pixels wide, and make sure it is PNG so that it is transparent. The next thing is your website icon. This should be a PNG as well. For this example, we are going to be using the free template included in the bonuses for the Easy Website template. So let's open that up real quick in Photoshop so I can show you how it works. Alright, as you can see, I have the app website icon template opened in Photoshop. And for the website icon, you don't necessarily need to use this. It can just be a square image. But if you wanted to use this, all you would need to do is come to your app icon shape, bring in your logo, and I'm going to actually just resize this. I'm going to place the logo, and then I'm going to go ahead and change the color and add a drop shadow, inner shadow. There we go. And then from here, if you wanted to go ahead and just use this, all you would need to do is export the image. So I'll File, go to Export, Export As. We'll make sure it stays 512 by 512. We don't need to change anything. We'll ensure it's PNG, and then we'll click on Export. And as you see, I will go ahead and rename this Newt icon. Once you put in the name, we'll go ahead and click Save. Now that you have the website icon, the next thing we are going to work on is our headshot. We'll open the profile pic template in Photoshop and make sure the image we are using is sized right and centered. So let's jump into Photoshop. As you see, we have the circle profile photo template opened, and the entire purpose of this, honestly, is just to make sure that when you have your image in, your face and everything, your logo or however you want to do your image here, is centered. For the purpose of the Easy Website template, we are going to be doing a headshot, so I'm going to bring in a picture of Newt. And now that I have the picture of Newt, you can go through and customize. We can move this around, kind of like that right there. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just turn that background image off. If you want to change the color of this little blue frame here, you can come into the frame, click on Color Overlay, and then you can change the colors from there. I'll go ahead and keep it on that gray. We can hit OK. Then you have the outside guide, which kind of shows you where it'll cut off. You can leave that on, or you can go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to leave it off. If you're happy with it, all you need to do is export the image and we can move forward. So I'm going to click File, export, export as. I'll keep the quality in the middle, make sure it's JPEG, make sure it stays at 800 pixels by 800 pixels, and I'll click on export. I'm gonna go ahead and name this Newt Headshot, and go ahead and click save. Last but not least, we are going to gather additional images and graphics we plan on using throughout our website so that we have what we need as best as possible in one location. If you think you may need some graphs or other basic stuff like that created, I would recommend that you look into Napkin.ai. It is a free bot that transforms your written content, like page content or blog content, into some really cool graphics. In fact, if you are watching this video on the Easy Website Template Guide, you can see a few of the graphics I made via Napkin. At the time of recording this, it is a free resource and worth checking out. That being said, that is it for this video. I hope this has been helpful, and as always, be great and stay boosted. I'll see you in the next video.